Good evening, everybody. Welcome, brothers and friends, to the 25th anniversary celebration of the Alpha Epsilon Pi Delta Rho chapter. It's so great to have everybody here tonight. So a few items before we begin. This event and the chat associated is being recorded and will be posted online in the future. Everybody's going to be muted for the first portion, which will include some special presentation, which should take approximately 25 minutes. Following that, turn off the recording and we'll have an opportunity for folks to socialize in smaller groups, but more about that later. I want to start by thanking the event planning committee in no particular order: Joel Mueller, Garrett Shiner, Jeff Ginsberg, Cooper Smith, and Evan Colchamro, who worked very hard to help put this together. The committee is greatly appreciative for all the help from Susan Barron-Pearson at Drexel's Office of Institutional Advancement and Josh Shushan at the AEPI Foundation. To the undergraduates on the call tonight, I hope you take the time to listen and learn about the history of our great organization and gain a better appreciation for the fraternity. So now let's kick it off with a special video. Enjoy.
To our brothers at Drexel, the Delta Rho chapter, on your 25th anniversary.
Delta Rho brothers, Mazel Tov on 25 years.
Congratulations to the brothers of Drexel on their 25th anniversary.
Congratulations on your anniversary. Congratulations on being one of our best chapters in the world.
Thank you for continuing to set and raise the bar for what a successful AEPI chapter should look like.
Mazel Tov to all of the brothers and alumni of Delta Rho on your 25th anniversary.
With great wishes to all of the members of Alpha Epsilon Pi on the event of your 25th anniversary. Congratulations.
I just wanted to take a quick minute to say congratulations on a strong history at Drexel.
Mazel Tov to the brothers of Delta Rho on your 25th anniversary.
Yeah, hearty Mazel Tov on their 25th anniversary. No small feat, must I say, that has been accomplished.
From less than 10 brothers as a colony to what you are today is one of the most amazing feats in AEPI that we've had over the last 107 years.
You exemplify what is best about AEPI and best about our brotherhood.
I owe much of my skills and my experience to the interactions that I've had with the men from your chapter.
I'm so proud and happy that I got to work with you guys.
Wishing you a Mazel Tov on this 25th anniversary milestone of being a chapter at Drexel. What an amazing opportunity this is to remember all the incredible people who made it happen.
It was an honor and a privilege working with all of you in the years, gosh, so many years ago.
I have such amazing memories of the fraternity, the fireside chats we used to do, the great discussions.
I loved everything about the chapter then and now, and I'm grateful for everything that you guys allowed me to do and learn.
The men I've met from Drexel are truly mentions. So here's to 25 and to another 25 soon yet to come.
You certainly helped to develop me into the professional that I think I am today. So I'm sincerely grateful for the influence that you've had on my life, and hopefully in return I was able to shape you a little bit as well.
Fraternity continued for many, many years to come to create great Jewish leaders, Jews who lead in all aspects of life, but also lead as Jews who are very much connected to their values, to their Yiddishkeit. L'chaim and Mazel Tov.
I'm personally thankful for the many Delta Rho brothers I call friends, and for always being one of my favorite chapters. Here's to many more years. Mazel Tov.
The brothers of Delta Rho continue to churn out alumni and undergraduate brothers who are really the best of what AEPI has to offer.
And you guys did an amazing job at Drexel. I was so proud to be a part of its founding, and I only wish you much chazak, much strength, and going mechayel l'chayel, from strength to strength. Mazel Tov, everybody.
Here's to the next 25 years, guys. Good luck and Mazel Tov.
So from all the brothers of AEPI, congratulations to Drexel on your 25th anniversary.
Wow, what a great video. Thanks to Brother Jeremy Lieberman for that. He did an amazing job putting it together. We're definitely going to post that online soon, so keep an eye out. So once again, my name is Mark Bloomberg. I'm the de facto president of the Delta Rho Alumni Association and your MC for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. So I was looking back today on the speech that I gave at our 13th anniversary Bar Mitzvah event, held 12 years ago on May 3rd. And I'm finding I want to say almost the same exact thing. I challenged Brother Brian Saunders and the rest of the undergraduate brothers to dream big and think about what we want the chapter to be in 10, 15, or 20 years. I challenged them to build on the first 13 years and to serve our community in even more ways, to lead more student organizations, and most of all, to build an even larger and more genuine brotherhood that would last forever. If we can make it through this pandemic, we'll have accomplished each of these goals and more. I'll let current brother Master Evan Kolchamro talk later about the state of the current chapter, but suffice it to say, we should all be immensely proud. The bottom line is that the current chapter is not the chapter of 10 or 20 years ago. These guys are a powerhouse on campus, and they deserve to have the type of alumni support that goes with having 516 current and alumni brothers, 65 pledge classes, and having found a way to not get kicked off campus for 25 straight years and going. So next up is a brother who needs no introduction, so I'll be very brief. He's the former director of chapter services, former executive director of Alpha Epsilon Pi International, and currently the CEO of the Alpha Epsilon Pi Foundation. He's an Order of the Lion recipient and someone whose support of our founding fathers played a major part in all of us being here today. From Florida State Class of 1980, Indy Borans.
Thank you so much to Mark and all the brothers and friends on the call. It's an honor and pleasure to be on the phone with you today. They gave me 5 minutes, and I'll in 5 minutes give you a very brief history of your group. And it is a storied history for sure. 26 and a half years ago, 27 years ago, I got a phone call at 11 p.m. at home in New Jersey, and it was Mark Lieber. And I didn't know who Mark Lieber was, but he said, my cousin is an API at Rutgers, and I go to Drexel, and I want to start API at Drexel. And I said, well, that's a very interesting idea, but I don't believe there's enough Jewish students at Drexel. We would love to be there. But he said, no, I really think we can do it. There are a very small amount, but if we start, which is generally what happens, more Jewish students will come to Drexel. And I said, okay, I thought this was a pipe dream. This was literally an 11 p.m. call. I said, fine, let's meet the next couple of days somewhere. So in East Brunswick, we met in a diner. We had coffee and pie and discussed this. And he said, really, I want to get this going. And I said, I don't think this can happen, Mark. It's just a long shot. And he said, please give us an opportunity, give us an opportunity. I said, fine. Our minimum is 12 to start. You get 12 guys in a room, and I will come down there, and I'll speak to them about how a colony begins, and we'll get this going. He said, I'll work on it. We picked a date. I come down to Drexel. It's a small room in a dormitory across from actually the first little baby house we had. And there's 5 guys in the room. I said, I don't know about this, but those 5 guys led by Mark were so passionate about having this begin. I said, fine, let's give it a shot. I went back to my office at that time in Omaha, and people said, you're crazy. You can't start a colony with 5 people. It's just never going to work, ever. The minimum is 12, and that's a stretch. I said, no, these guys, there's something about these guys. So I'll carry on the story. From there, we got a little baby house the next year with those 5 guys. It wasn't really a fraternity house. It was just sort of a first floor of an apartment. And then the next year, we got another place, and it was 9 or 10 or 12, something like that there. And then really, we started to take off. By the way, when we began, Hillel couldn't get a minyan. There was no Chabad. There was no Mayor. Those didn't even exist. And when we began this, when we got to 12 and then we get to 15 and 20 and 30, we started seeing that something was real here. And by the way, great guys, absolutely great guys. So all of a sudden, one day, SAE, we found out, was thrown off of campus. And they had destroyed a house on 34th Street and literally destroyed this house. And Mark took me by there, and some other brothers took me by there and said, what about this house? And I said, this house would require $1 million worth of work, minimum. And we've got 30 people. We could never do this. So I got some crazy idea from what I had seen at the University of Connecticut and Wash U, and literally walked into the Dean of Student Affairs and said, I have an idea for you. Why don't you take this house, the university owned it, cut it in half, and put 2 fraternities in there. And the woman looked at me and she said, that's a great idea. Will you sign a long-term lease? And I said, well, what are you talking about, long-term lease? She said, well, how about 10 years? I said 7. She said, okay, we'll take this. We'll try it. So they did that. We signed a long-term lease, and Alpha Rho was our other partner that took the other side of the house. And it was so successful, the university did it in a half a dozen other houses all on the same street. And this has become what is sort of Greek Row today. And I'm thrilled that we were able to do that. And I have to tell you, from the beginning, it's gone to 30 to 40 to 50 to 70 to 90 to 100. And then literally Jewish Life, a brand new Hillel building on campus. Jewish Life transformed. And you know what transformed Jewish Life on campus? AE Pi. You guys, you and your brothers. I was at your bar mitzvah on year 13. It was amazing. Now I'm here at year 25, and I'm so proud that you invited me. I'm so proud of Mark Lieber and his idea, and the other 4 guys who stuck together. And they, in that first year, when it was so hard, they didn't flinch. They knew, everybody who worked with them knew, this group wasn't going to drop the ball. This group was going to continue until we were chartered, which we were in a year and a half. And then all of a sudden, as it was said by some of the people in the video, you are the leaders on campus. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of how strong you are. I'm so proud of how strong you are for Jewish Life, and what an amazing AE Pi chapter you are. So thank you, brothers, for honoring me by having me speak, but thank you to you for all of your work and dedication to bring amazing Jewish life to Drexel University. You have changed that school, and for yourselves have met and interact with the best friends of your life that you have now as a result of AE Pi. Thank you again, brothers.
Oh, thanks, Andy. I feel so privileged. Thanks for everything you do for the fraternity and for years of service. And by the way, that Dean of Students, Diana Dale, emailed me and sends her warmest regards, along with Ada Bagley, who was so happy to hear from us. So she remembers you very well.
Thank you.
Yes. So
I think we did something very good for your university.
yeah, she thinks so too. Okay, so now we have the current master, junior political science major from Tenafly, New Jersey, Evan Colchamro. Evan is very active on campus, serving as the president of Drexel Democrats, member of the University Conduct Board, and he was previously VP of Drexel Chabad, and in the chapter has served as house manager, sentinel, scribe. So Evan, take it away.
Thank you, Mark. On behalf of the undergrads in API, I want to thank everyone for being here. When I joined API in the fall of 2017, we were one of the biggest chapters on campus. And I'm proud to say that as of right now, we are the largest fraternity at Drexel, with over 110 active brothers. For 4 straight years, we have brought in a record number of fall pledges, including a 34-member pledge class this fall. And we have won Chapter of the Year 3 of the last 6 years, in 2014, 2017, and 2018, at the API National Convention. Our chapter has also had the honor of hosting our regional conclave 2 of the last 4 years, in 2017 and February 2020. This event brings over 30 chapters and over 400 Alpha Epsilon Pi brothers to Drexel, where they attend breakout sessions led by national leadership and Delta Rho brothers. This event has served as an opportunity for our chapter to show its dedication to API's core values and to proudly represent our chapter's leadership in our region. Our chapter has also become one of the top fundraisers for API's national philanthropy, having raised over $50,000 since 2015 through our annual fundraisers like Lockefest and API Nurai. This includes having raised over $5,000 this year alone, even with the difficulties caused by the coronavirus pandemic. This supports philanthropies like the Hoffa Institute, which supports families facing poverty in Israel, United Hatzalah, an Israeli emergency medical services organization which answers more than 300,000 cases per year, and the Israel Cancer Fund. We have also continued our relationship with the Jewish Relief Agency, taking monthly trips to their warehouse to help provide kosher meals to those in need in the Philadelphia area. The central difference between API and other fraternities is Judaism, and I'm pleased to report that our chapter remains a strongly Jewish chapter and the only Jewish fraternity on campus. We offer weekly Jewish programming opportunities for our brothers, including Shabbat dinners, learning sessions with our chapter rabbi, Rabbi Nash, and countless other opportunities for brothers to explore their Jewish identity. I recognize this chapter may be different than it was when everyone here was at Drexel, but I promise that as we grow stronger and extend our network even further, we will continue to uphold the values that Delta Rho is founded on, and will continue to provide opportunities to develop Jewish leaders in our community. I would now like to introduce our next speaker, our chapter rabbi, Rabbi Nash. Rabbi Nash has served as our chapter rabbi for the past 2 years and is an integral part of facilitating Jewish programming in our chapter. Between teaching Delta Rho exclusive Maimonides courses and recurring chapter-wide rabbi chats, Rabbi Nash has been a key figure in our success for the last few years. Beyond Delta Rho, Rabbi Nash also serves as a rabbi for the Jewish young professional community in Philadelphia, which includes numerous Delta Rho alumni, and as a teacher of Talmud and Judaic studies at the Kohelet Yeshiva High School in Lower Merion.
Thank you, Evan. It's really been a privilege to be connected with this chapter specifically and serve as the chapter rabbi. I filled pretty big shoes. Rabbi K, the beloved Rabbi K, who many of you may know, who I think actually is now on with us in one of these boxes. He was amazing, and he introduced a lot in his collaboration with Meor and the fraternity. So I have big shoes, but to fill, but we've incorporated, I guess, my uniqueness to it, and there's it's been really a privilege to work together, and I'll tell you why. I mean, in general, we all know how important it is to incorporate Jewish identity and to own Jewish identity, and specifically now, whereas every year goes on, the amount of Jewish students on campus alarmingly identify less with their Jewish faith, and the culture of anti-Judaism and anti-Israel doesn't help anything. People would rather, I guess, to pretend not to be the victim. And what we need now is to step up our game more than anything, and to have that identity as a Jew within us. And what better way to identify than to learn more about what Judaism is? And that's what we've been doing together with our collaboration. recently, I have been serving as the chapter rabbi, but it first started as the collaboration with the organization that I'm a rabbi for called Meor. And it's been really, really wonderful. This group it's such an impressive and talented and altruistic group that I've been connected with. And I really, again, look at it as a privilege. What we've done in the past, as Evan had already said, we have our Maimonides program that we run, which we usually average between 15 to 20 brothers every week for about an hour and a half every week over dinner, literally just to congregate and discuss Jewish fundamental tenets, ideals, and inspiration that we can draw from Judaism to affect our life for the better and to incorporate it more within our life. And more importantly, see how it's something that's so central to us. And that allows us, and what that does is that generates this identity that will extend way past our years in the fraternity and in the college, and when we build families, God willing, in our future years. Now, this is something that's so crucial and so important, but yet it's been met with there's been so much success. Everybody has been so happy with it and have enjoyed spending the time with it. We've even started a level 2, I guess, people who wanted to move past that program of Maimonides 1 and learning really into the deeper and traditional rich texts that we have in Judaism. Some of you may know Ethics of Our Fathers. We go through that and try to explore some of the ancient traditional ideals in Judaism, but yet explore and see how relevant they are now. And again, what this does is build an identity with it and see how it's so central in our lives and something that will be permanent and remain with us forever. So we're constantly thinking of new ideas with our bonfires and our barbecues, and we've done educational trips, and it's really been amazing. And we're only coming up with more ideas. We've had some of the world-renowned Jewish speakers of talking about different tenets and different ideas in Judaism. We've introduced that to the fraternity, so I'm really excited about this. And again, it's really a privilege to be a part of this. Just to end with this sentiment, like we said, planting the roots at this time is something that's so important, to have that identity as a Jew to carry us through life. But I like to find myself, and specifically in this time, this is my message I'll leave off with, is that we kind of always need to flex that muscle of Jewish identity. You know what I mean? Even myself. And I have to kind of remind myself, even past these college years and past, wherever I find myself in life, and ask myself, how can I incorporate more of Judaism in my life? This is definitely setting up at this time at college and university right now within the fraternity. We're setting up foundations. Or building off foundations that we had beforehand, but it's something that we always need to, I don't want to say we finished the building at this point. It's something that we always need to kind of work out, keep those muscles strong and constantly be reminding ourselves and incorporating that within our life. What does Judaism see from this perspective? How do I incorporate more of that in my life? So I think now, given that we're all in our spaces and we all have that isolation within ourselves, it's a good time to maybe incorporate that as well. Take some of that inspiration. Amazing. Evan, thank you again for introducing, and it's been wonderful.
Thank you, Rabbi, for coming and for all that you do for us every day. The final speaker this evening is a close friend of mine, who's probably the first alumnus I heard from when I was a brother, and for years I looked up to him. He and I would talk on the phone for hours about the fraternity, about engineering, and about life. He's a very successful civil engineer working on projects ranging from residential developments to ice rinks to schools to site planning for national franchise restaurants. His vision for a Jewish away from home at Drexel not only made AEPi possible, but transformed Jewish life on this campus forever. Gentlemen, brother founding master, Mark Lieber.
Thank you, Mark. First of all, I want to congratulate all the brothers, past and present, on this very significant milestone. We also have all 5 founders here tonight, which is not often, and I want to note that we are here. I especially want to thank the chapter support system, Jim, and everyone at the International Fraternity, our many chapter advisors, regional governors, field staff, the parents of our brothers, and our local alumni that have and continue to be actively involved. And I want to take a minute to acknowledge Andy Borans. There is simply not enough time tonight to say everything that I want to share about our early years under the close guidance of Andy. He was our coach, our mentor, our motivator, and a role model. He showed us what to really strive for, to aspire to, and without his involvement, reaching this milestone would not be possible. The achievements of this chapter are numerous, including winning Chapter of the Year remarkable 4 times since our founding. This is a validation of the truly wonderful things that the brothers are accomplishing. 25 years is quite a long time. For the undergrads, it may seem like another dimension, as many of them were born after the year 2000. It's hard to comprehend all that's happened since our founding. I graduated in 1999, was married a week before September 11th, and have witnessed the rise of the internet, smartphones, social media, and really a whole new generation. Just last month, my son celebrated his bar mitzvah on Zoom. And I've considered this time frame and have come to realize that most of us are actually now older than Andy was when we met him in 1995. And the years have just kept going. Many of us are married, some of us have kids and are busy in their careers, while others have moved to various cities and towns all around the world. But Delta Rho will always be the single place we can all call home. The kind of place where just walking through the front door changes your entire mindset. And that brings me back to the significance of today. We've all read about the history of this chapter. Many of us probably had some kind of quiz on it, and therefore are familiar with the details of our founding. We all know the who's, the what's, the how's, and the when's. Those are easy answers. But more difficult is the why. As founders, we were in need of something that wasn't available anywhere else. In 1995, there was no Chabad, no JCC, no Steinhardt programs, no Jewish studies courses. There was no co-op in Tel Aviv. Jewish life was practically non-existent at school. Jeff Markowitz's dad was a Sami brother at Drexel in the late 60s and seemed to feel there was a decent-sized Jewish population at school, but there wasn't. When I was extended a bid to join Pi Lambda Phi, I don't actually think they're around anymore. I remember the Rush chairman telling me that they had 2 members who were Jewish, if that would better convince me to join. So we needed something to fill an obvious void, a place where we could share our common Jewish values and culture and enjoy each other's company amongst an atmosphere that seemed to encourage assimilation. This is why we did it. Back then, the other fraternities on campus looked at AEPI with its Jewish mission as just being outdated. At the IFC hearings, they didn't want us. They told us that in order to succeed, we would have to be like all the other chapters on campus. Greek life was in decline, and they felt that one more fraternity on campus would cause the whole system to collapse. At one IFC meeting, Chad Levine told them that we were seeking to attract Jewish students and wouldn't pull from the same pool of guys. The other houses figured that that would be a disadvantage to us and an advantage to them, so they liked it, and we ended up getting probationary status. Well, the reality then, and still is today, is that following the mission of AEPI and adhering to what it is truly about is an advantage. We already know who our audience is. So while the other fraternities at Drexel were giving out bids to all the same people, we were quietly drawing in members that were in fact looking for us. This chapter changed me, and over the years it's changed all of you. And today, the members of this organization have made a change for Drexel. Compared to Jewish life in 1995, today there's an entire community with a multitude of Jewish groups, all linked back to this chapter and its brothers. Our identity has evolved. It's not simply a few brothers sharing something in common, but today it's an entire presence, a center of attention, a focus for Jewish pride and Israel advocacy. It's become a place for people to meet others and a place to learn about ourselves and our potential. Over the past 25 years, while the faces in the chapter have changed, our mission has remained the same. Let's continue on our mission. At this time, I'm calling on each of us to help commemorate this special milestone by making a donation to support the chapter's next 25 years. A great way to mark the occasion would be to pledge $54.95, or consider giving $18 times the number of years since you graduated. The site to visit is draepi.org/donate. You will have the choice to donate to our Leadership Development Fund, which helps pay for undergraduate programming, or you can select the Endowed Scholarship Fund, which helps pay tuition of brothers in financial need. And all donations are tax deductible. If you have any questions about these two funds, please reach out to Mark Bloomberg. Finally, I want to extend a thank you to the 25-year celebration committee for setting up this event, planning out the program, and bringing together our guest speakers. And of course, thanks to all of you for taking time out of your schedules to attend and take part tonight. Unfortunately, we could not do this in person. However, we hope that one day soon, we will be able to enjoy each other's company, whether it be at another event or at the chapter house. Once again, congratulations to all, and best to everyone for another 25 years of accomplishments. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Mark. That was amazing. So on behalf of all the brothers of Delta Rho, past and present, I want to extend our thank you, and also to the 4 other founding fathers of Delta Rho chapter, without whom any of us would be here. Mark Winchin, Jeff Markowitz, Chad Levine, Ryan Frank, thank you for joining tonight. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts and are eternally grateful for all you've done for us. So in case you missed it, the link to donate to the chapter is draepi.org/donate. It's easy to remember. I hope everybody takes the opportunity after this before you forget.